Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any upcoming videos. Now let's get started. Hey cousins, did you know that there was an all-black military unit in World War I that not only fought on the front lines longer than any other American regiment, but also helped introduce jazz to Europe? Let me tell you about the Harlem Hellfighters, a group of brave soldiers who battled racism at home and war abroad, changing history all along the way. Let's go, cousins. Our story begins in 1916 with the formation of the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, an all-black unit based in Harlem. At the time, segregation was still the law of the land, and African Americans weren't given the same opportunities in military as white soldiers. Even though they were eager to serve, many people doubted their abilities simply because of their skin color. When the U.S. joined World War I in 1917, the 15th Regiment was sent overseas and renamed 369th Infantry Regiment. But instead of being given weapons and placed on the front lines, these men were put to work doing manual labor, digging ditches, unloading cargo, and building roads. The U.S. military refused to let them fight. My algorithm is telling me that you're watching, but you're not subscribing. Quit treating me like the cousin you don't like. Subscribe and share. The racism didn't stop there. White American soldiers didn't want to fight alongside black troops, and some even spread lies about them to French allies, trying to turn them against the 369th. But the French army didn't care about skin color. They just needed brave fighters. Imagine being in the midst of a war, bodies piling up all around you, and still being so shallow-minded to care about someone's skin color. I mean, are you serious? But this is what happened, right? Okay. They just needed brave fighters. So the Harlem Hellfighters were placed under French command, giving French helmets and French weapons, and finally allowed to fight. Now, if you remember Eugene Bullard, go back and check out that video. It was really good. He was a black American man who fought for France because the U.S. was so caught up on his skin color. And because of that, he won so many wars and so many battles for France. It just blows my mind. It truly blows my mind. And they're trying to bring that BS back to 2025. Ugh. Okay. Once in combat, they proved their doubters wrong. Spent 191 days on the front lines, the longest of any U.S. unit. Did you hear that? The longest of any U.S. unit. And not once did they lose a trench to the enemies. One of the most famous Harlem Hellfighter was Private Henry Johnson. One night, he and his fellow soldiers, Nadim Roberts, were on guard duty when they were ambushed by a group of German soldiers. Despite being outnumbered and wounded, Johnson fought with everything he had, rifle, knife, and even his bare hands, until the enemy retreated. His courage earned him the nickname Black Death, and later the Medal of Honor, the highest awarded honor of bravery in the U.S. military. The Harlem Hellfighters didn't just make history on the battlefield. They also changed music forever. Their regiment band, led by James Reese Europe, introduced jazz to Europe for the first time. Imagine fighting in a battle war by day and playing soulful, energetic music by night. Their performance helped spread jazz across France and beyond, shaping the future of music worldwide. That was one of my favorite things learning about them. Don't you always wonder, like, how our music, and by our, I mean Black African American music, spread around the globe? And it's not until, social media that we really understood how much of an impact Black Americans had to the world. We had no clue because, of course, we weren't told that, right? And this is one of the ways. They had a whole jazz band that they were spreading our culture to a different part of the world. I just found that beautiful. I just found it beautiful. When the war ended in 1919, the Harlem Hellfighters returned to the U.S. as heroes. New York City held a massive parade in their honor, celebrating their bravery. But despite their service, racism at home remained. Many of these men still couldn't get good jobs or even be served in some of the restaurants. The country they fought for still didn't see them as equals. And that's why you hear or heard many of our older people, and you still may hear them say, don't fight for a country that treats you as a second-class citizen. And then as immigrants started to come into the country, Black people started being treated even lower than second-class citizens. And so that's where that saying comes from, or why a lot of older Black people didn't encourage their children or grandchildren to fight in the military, because you fight in the military, but you're still not valued. That's where that comes from, cousins. Even though they weren't fully recognized in their time, the Harlem Hellfighters' impact has never been forgotten. Their story has been told in books, documentaries, and even graphic novels called The Harlem Hellfighters by Max Brooks, which is being made into a movie. Their courage, determination, and sacrifice helped pave the way for future generations of Black soldiers in the military. They were truly impactful. And I think that it is very important, and that's why I urge you guys to go on to the DOD website and these military or U.S. government military websites and screenshot as many pictures of our Black heroes as you possibly can, because their plan is to erase the pictures. It is set for 26,000 pictures to be erased from government websites. And not just the pictures, but their story as well. And so that's why I created this series, our Black Military series. And that's why our channel is so important. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please share it with a younger person so that they know who they come from. Heroes. To the Harlem Hellfighters, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We owe you more than words can ever express. You fought with unmatched bravery, not just against the enemy in war, but the enemy against the hatred and racism that tried to deny your place in history. You stood on front lines for 191 days, never backing down, never losing a trench. You bled, you sacrificed, you endured, so that a country that did not always honor you could remain free. Even when the world tried to silence your greatness, you made history. You didn't just win battles, you changed the course of music, culture, and the fight for equality, not just in the U.S., but worldwide. Your impact is still felt. Your courage paved the way for future generations, proving that heroism knows no color. Because of you, we stand stronger, we dream bigger, and we continue to fight for justice and respect. Thank you for passing the torch to us. Thank you for allowing us to stand on your shoulders. Thank you for giving us the blueprint to know that we can do it too. In 2025, we still have to fight. And because of you, we know that it's possible. From the bottom of our hearts, we at Not Just February would like to thank you. You will never be forgotten. So cousins, tell me, did you know about the Harlem Hellfighters? I didn't. I was so excited to learn about them. From them being such brave warriors on the battlefield, another part of the world, to jazz. Wow. I always, like I said before, I always wanted to know how our music got to other places of the globe. And now we see one of the ways. So who should we do next, cousins? Do you know of any war heroes you would like me to cover? Or any regiments, groups that you want me to cover? Their influence on jazz. Did you know about their influence on jazz, or even that they had a band? I love that they were multidimensional. Let's talk about it below. Throw a heart if you really enjoyed our series on Black military. Until next time, cousins, stay curious, stay proud, and let's keep learning. Bye, cousins.